All right. Good morning, everybody. Thank y'all so much for joining us for the very first Columbia Advisory Committee on Equality. I'm Councilwoman Tamika Isaac Devine, and I'm joined with my colleague, Councilman Howard Duvall. And we are really excited to welcome you guys to this newly formed committee and really just kind of get started on a lot of work that y'all have already been helping us do informally. But now we can do it in a more formal way. And so I wanted to make sure that we started this meeting getting to know everybody so we know who everybody is. And then I'll come back and we'll talk about kind of the mission and the purpose of the committee. And then wanted to then just open up for everybody to just share some thoughts and some agenda items moving forward. I will say that this committee will not, Howard and I may attend some of your meetings, but this committee is not going to be led by Howard and I. We just wanted to be here for the convening of the first meeting and welcome you all and express our appreciation for you agreeing to serve in this volunteer capacity for this committee. But among yourselves, you will certainly need to, you will have meetings, and this will be driven by this committee, not by us as council members. So I did want to make sure I said that. But again, thank you, and I appreciate you guys so much. With that, I'm gonna kick it to Howard to let him introduce himself and give any opening remarks.
Thank you, Tamika. I'm glad to be with us this morning. This is a great day to get this committee off and running. Looking forward to hearing what low-hanging fruit Dylan can come up with today. So a non-controversial topic that I'm sure he's got something in mind that we can tackle right off the bat. Glad to be with everybody.
All right, so from there, I just want everybody to be able to introduce themselves and kind of where they are. Actually, you know what? Before I go to everybody else, I did want to go to Officer Lake, and I'm not sure if any of the other liaisons are on, but Officer Lake, if you would start, I want you to introduce yourself because I know some people know who you are, but not everybody might know. So I wanted to go ahead and introduce you to everybody.
All right, good morning, you all. So my name is Officer Constance Lake. I am a 3-year officer. I've been here since August 2018 with the department. I, as well as civilian Linda Myers and investigator Robert Henry, are a part of the department's newly LGBTQ+ liaison board. During these past 3 months since us being implemented, we've been trying to meet with key players of the community. We were able to have dinner with Jeff March probably about 2 months ago, which led to our attendance at the SC Pride Presidency Ball a couple of weeks ago. And we were able to attend LGBTQ+ night at the Firefly Stadium. But being that we are new, we are trying to create a vision, and we're also trying to make sure that we're on target with the community needs. So we are trying to meet with key players. I'm so glad, Darius, that you're on this call so I can make contact with you. But anything that the community needs and anything that the department can be of assistance with, we would love to do so. So yeah, that's me. Nice to meet y'all.
Thank you so much. And I have to tell y'all, with Constance, she's amazing. I've worked with her over the last 3 years since she's been here in the community, and she is always in the community. And so I'm really excited that Chief Holbrook and Deputy Chief Kelly worked with her for this position, because I think she is just amazing, and y'all will think so too once you get to know her. So thank you, Officer Lake. Okay, so let's start with Darius, and I'm gonna try and put my screen on gallery view, and I'll just do it in the area that y'all are in my screen. So I'm gonna start with Darius.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to see everyone's faces, familiar faces and new faces. I'm Darius Jones, the president of South Carolina Black Pride. Also, I'm employed at South Carolina Department of Health. in environmental control as the HIV counseling, testing, and leakage coordinator in central office. I went to Allen University. I really don't like introducing myself. I really don't like talking about myself, to be honest. I hate it. But I will just say I am definitely an open book. I definitely love having conversations around change, around innovation. I love Columbia, to be very honest. I'm a native, born and raised, Kenai High School. And so I'm here to uplift the community, to inform those who don't know, and to also educate myself on things that I don't know, and to help this committee make change in Columbia for the best in our community and for the community of Columbia in its whole. So yeah, Darius Jones.
Thank you, Darius. I appreciate it. So my screen moved around. So Jeff March. Jeff, you're muted.
Am I done? Am I on now? Uh-oh, hang on.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, you can hear me. Great. And I can't hear myself. Okay, so yeah, I'm Jeff March. I'm president of South Carolina Pride. This is my 10th year in this job. And we're looking forward to our festival returning to the streets of Maine on October 22nd and 23rd. We're just gearing up for that as it's only 3 weeks away. And I look forward to joining this committee. This is a very good thing for our city of Columbia.
Awesome. Thanks, Jeff. Tyson.
Hey everyone, my name is Tyson Lusk. I work at the University of South Carolina. I'm a fundraiser here. Look forward to working with all of you. I largely play a part in our diversity and inclusion efforts on campus, including at the Pride Parade, where we'll be defending our honor of our first place float from 2019. So please look for the Gamecocks out at the parades, and I look forward to working with all of you as well.
Thank you, Tyson. Tanya.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Tanya Hatton. I'm a pastor of a affirmative ministry called CORE, Christ Over Everything, here in Columbia, South Carolina. I'm also a member of South Carolina Black Pride, where I'm working on the Leader Initiative, which is raising awareness in areas that visibility for LGBTQ plus community has been limited. So we're looking at increasing that. I'm very excited about that opportunity, and also the opportunity to serve and work with this community as we are working with initiatives and raising awareness for the LGBTQ community through our endeavors as well. I graduated from Benedict College. I earned a master's from Webster University and also a master's in social work from the University of South Carolina. I currently work in my field of social work with newly MUSC Columbia. I can't remember the official name because we made that transition, but formerly Providence Downtown. And I'm just very excited to be here. So thank you for this opportunity. I look forward to getting to know you all and seeing how I can contribute as well. I consider myself a jack of all trades and a master of none. So I like to do a little bit of everything. But as long as I'm helping and serving, that's my happy place. Thank you again.
Thank you. And so Tara, is it Tara or Tara? Oops, I think you're frozen.
So there we go. It's Tara. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. My name is Tara McRaven. I'm a resident here in Columbia. I'm a home health nurse in Lexington and Richland County. I'm also a mom here in South Carolina. I'm the mom of a transgender daughter. So I hope to bring awareness on that end of the spectrum and bring awareness to that trauma.
Thank you so much. It's great to have you. Okay, and so I'm gonna make sure, is it Sheen?
Sheen, actually,
Sheen.
S-H-E-E-N, Sheen.
All right, we'll go ahead. Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you, Councilwoman. And thank you, Councilman Duvall. My name is Sheen Rivera. I am a fifth-year child and adolescent psychiatry resident here at Prisma Health Midlands. I primarily work with transgender and non-binary patients as part of my specialty. And I'm very passionate about LGBTQIA mental health in general. My pronouns are he, him. I grew up in the California Bay Area, and I went to medical school in SUNY Stony Brook in Long Island, and have been here for about 5 years now. I really love Columbia, and I plan to stay here long term. And I'm really happy to be able to have the opportunity to get more involved in the community just as a practitioner as well. I'm currently part of a group of healthcare providers at Prisma Health. We're trying to form a more coherent institution that is dedicated to streamlining transgender health from a multidisciplinary perspective. So yeah, I'm really pleased to be here and to work with all of you.
Thank you so much. Dylan.
Hello, hello. My name is Dylan Gunnels. In this space, I guess it's notable to say that I'm the founder and equity designer of the Agape Table. We are a local nonprofit that cultivates spaces of healing for queer people of faith and their friends. And that stems from my experience having pastored a Baptist church for 4 years and then coming out and what that journey was like. And so that's actually how I ended up in Columbia. And so I'm happy to be here doing this work here in Columbia specifically. I also serve on the board of SC Pride and excited about the work that we're doing here. All of those organizations with our SC United Coalition had a lot to do with assisting Councilwoman Devine and Councilman Duvall with the conversion therapy ban that we're very excited about. And so I'm excited to take that momentum and work with this group of folks to expand our leadership development, not only as queer leaders here in Columbia, but also our equity across the state, or excuse me, across the city for queer folks, but everybody. We know as we lift up those who need it most, we're lifting up everyone. So I'm excited to be here.
Thank you. And Grant.
Hi, I'm back after a few technical difficulties, but I assume we're introducing ourselves. Okay, I'm Grant Burnett Lefevre. I'm an attorney with Burnett Shutt McDaniel law firm in Columbia, and we focus a lot on LGBTQ+ employment issues and civil rights issues in general. And I'm excited to be with all of y'all.
Thank you all, and we're really grateful that you guys have volunteered your time and your expertise to be here for this very important advisory committee. I do want to just briefly allow the staff that is on the line just introduce themselves, just so you know who they are and what departments that they are with. And Ms. Wilson, if we could just start with you, because I know you're probably multitasking, so you can start, and then we'll just kind of go through all of staff, just let them pop in and say who they are and what department they're in. And she might have had to step away. So Ms. Benjamin, you want to start with you?
Absolutely. So my name is Pam Benjamin, and I am the Chief of Staff for the City of Columbia, and I work closely with the city manager, trying to assist her with all the wonderful things that we do here at the city. So I'm glad to be on and glad to see everybody involved in this committee. And I wanted to say too, I used to be an HR director for most of my career, and I'm responsible for managing HR with my HR director, as well as the municipal court and our safety and risk management department. Thanks.
Great. And let's do our ACM. So I'll start with Jeff.
Morning. My name is Jeff Palin. I'm an assistant city manager and also the chief financial officer.
Clint.
Hey, good morning, Councilwoman Devine and everyone else. Good to be with you this morning. My name is Clint Sheely. I'm assistant city manager with responsibilities over Columbia Water, which is our water and sewer systems, engineering department, customer care, and also public works. Good to be with you.
Henry.
Good morning, Henry Simons. I am the Assistant City Manager of Operations. I have responsibility of support services, fleet services, the 911 Center and Parks and Recreation. Good to be with you all today.
Missy.
Good morning. I'm Missy Gentry. I'm one of the assistant city managers over parking, Office of Business Opportunities, Community Development, Planning and Development Services, and the Development Corporations. I'm glad to be with you today as well.
Thank you. And then let me just pop to Erica, Shanique, and then Justin, and then come back to the city manager because she might have some additional comments. Erica.
Good morning. I'm Erica Hammond. You've received the agenda from me. And so I am the city clerk to city council. I organized with the meetings, several of the committee meetings. I released the agenda, the summaries after the meetings, and the minutes. So you will be hearing a lot from me, or at least receiving emails from me a lot as you continue to meet. So thank you.
Good morning. I am Shanique Belton. I am the executive assistant to City Council, and I am also the ombudsman for the City of Columbia.
Justin. Oh, he can't say. He won't be able to talk because audio. Okay. Justin is our public relations and media. And so you'll see Justin is in charge of our Zoom meetings. You'll see him out and about in the community, especially when we have events. So that's it. And then Ms. Wilson, I'll kick it to you. We're introducing ourselves, but I thought you may have a comment as well. So I wanted to kind of end with you at our introduction session.
Sure, Ms. Devine, and I didn't want to wreck my vehicle, so I was multitasking because I'm double booked this morning, but did not want to not hear all the wonderful conversation that I'm sure will start and continue as Ms. Devine described in the weeks and months ahead. But thank you to Ms. Devine and Councilman Duvall as well for pulling this group together. And I'm here along with the team to help. I don't really have any additional comments, but just wanted to welcome everyone.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. So thank you, everybody. So with that, Erica, are we able to, Howard and I have researched what some other cities do as far as having advisory committees, quality commissions, et cetera. And so we and I say we, actually, Howard drafted a mission statement that wanted to propose to everybody and put that out there and just get some feedback on there. So Erica, is there a way that you can share it? Thank you. And so Howard, you want to go over this?
Yeah, I'm unmuted, yeah. This is a combination of several different communities' mission statement that we drew together. I'll read it to you. The Advisory Committee on Equality, ACE, works to foster, that is the grand dog. Here it is. Maybe somebody better read that. Can you read it, Tamika?
Yes, sir. I tell you, grand puppies or something. Okay. They're like the children when you're remote, when we were all working from home. Every time you're in a meeting, they come and have to do something. So the Advisory Committee on Equality, ACE, works to foster equitable working and living conditions for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer people, and to advocate for LGBTQ, and I think we need to add plus IA plus issues in all areas of city government. The ACE team aims to develop city policy regarding civil rights issues affecting the LGBTQ plus people, help enact policies and programs to meet the city's diversity, equity, and inclusion goals, coordinate among city departments, agencies, and offices to improve LGBTQ plus access to services, and to promote equality and safety for LGBTQ people. Support the growth and development of the city's LGBTQ communities, and serve as a liaison between the area's LGBTQ plus communities and the city. Provide education about the needs of the LGBTQ plus community. The goal for the advisory committee is for equitable, inclusive, and thriving Columbia for everyone, regardless of race, gender, identity, gender expression, sexual orientation, and all other protected classes in the city of Columbia. Erica, thank you so much. She's on here. Okay, I think that was just a cut and paste from Atlanta, so we could take that part out. Based on what we have here, really now I just want to kind of open it up to feedback. I think she was kind of trying to make sure, and that's why we have this advisory committee. We want to make sure, number one, that we need to start with making sure that our mission statement and everything is inclusive. It meets the need, it says what we want to, and we want to make sure we're also utilizing the correct language. So I just want some input on this mission statement and goal for the committee. And anybody, you can raise your hand or just jump in.
Again, Sheen Rivera, Prisma Health. I thank you, Councilwoman, for adding IA to the end of it. I would probably add IA plus to those as well, again, just because these terminologies are constantly shifting and changing. So sometimes it is helpful to have the plus to just recognize that sometimes there are identities that we don't include in the initialisms that we initially use, and also kind of gives the flexibility to reflect that diversity in the community too, unless there are other objections amongst the other committee members.
Thank you, Sheen. I appreciate that. So Erica's making those amendments. Jeff, what did I see you trying to jump on? No, okay. Any other comments from anybody on this?
I mean, I believe it's a really good start and really good foundation of what we can do and plan to do. I think, like a lot of things, things do change sometimes. So I think sometimes we may need to go back and look at it and add some things and change some things. As the city landscape changes as well, we need to make sure we're changing the mission and we're being inclusive with it. That'll be like my own comment.
Agreed. It will certainly be fluid as we get into our work, and there might be some changes that needed. Any other comments on this?
I would like to add, this is Officer Lake with CPD. I think this mission statement is pretty on track with what myself and my other board members have been discussing these past couple of months. And I definitely feel like it will support our goals that we have in mind.
I'm sorry, I should mention just logistically also in terms of the acronym, I'm assuming Erica is the one who's editing it, but in the first line, when it's describing equitable working and living conditions for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, I would sort of just amend that to spell the whole acronym to be transgender, queer, intersex, and asexual. Thank you.
Thank you, Erica.
You all help me with my spelling if I'm off.
Any other feedback on this? Okay, well, seeing none, I think we're going to go ahead and commit this to our working mission, understanding that as you guys do work and things evolve, it can always be amended, expanded, but right now that is what we have. So great, awesome. Okay, so now the only other thing I had for our agenda today was kind of an open dialogue on some of the things. You guys were all personally asked to serve, and we did an application process and everything else, but wanted to really just kind of get some ideas on, as you see your service on this committee, what are some of the matters that you want to be considered as far as a committee moving forward? And I know this is the first meeting, so I won't necessarily ask today that we assign leadership per se, but I think between now and the next meeting, we need to at least have an acting chair or somebody for the committee that will, start at least pulling together, because like I mentioned, Howard and I may not attend all your meetings, so we want to make sure that this is a committee, or task force that is driven by you, the members, just like any of our other committees, CPAC and other things. that we will meet with you as needed and certainly come and listen to some of your meetings, but this is not driven by council. You are actually advising us. So at some point we need to think about the leadership as well. But right now, I would like to just open it up and see what are some of the matters that consideration, some of the things that you'd like to tackle. And I like to take off meaningful chunks. And so eventually, I guess there should certainly be more of a long-term, like, over the next, in 2022, what are some of the things that we want to accomplish? But let's just kind of be manageable. So, we're about to hit October 1st, so we have the last quarter of 2021. What are some of the things that you see as a task force that you'd like to be elevating, bringing to council's attention, or working on within your body? So I'm just going to stop there and open it up to anybody.
Oh, I scared Dylan. He won't speak up.
I was trying not to be the first.
I know you got something, Dylan.
I mean, I just think that our conversation as this body should probably start where this conversation started initially with our HRC rating. I think that, there are tangibles listed within that rating that we recognize that we're lacking. And so that gives us a tangible list that we can work on. I think if we start there, it would expound into other conversations. So that would be my recommendation.
Let me follow up. I think Tanya was going to say something, but before she jumps in, let me ask Tyson, do we know when the rating will come out? Because I want to make sure that everybody has a copy, and we'll send it, but I know that we're about to get a new rating, so I don't want to harp on something where it might be changing in the next couple weeks.
Sure. So traditionally, those have come out in, I believe, October. Now, HRC's gone through quite a bit of upheaval, so I don't know if that will impact that, but it should be within the next month. And on the scorecard, I don't know if Pam Benjamin is still on the call, but kudos to Pam for all the work that she did on this. We submitted the scorecard updated ratings based on a number of things that we accomplished in the last year, including the conversion therapy ban, the CPD liaison, the establishment of this committee, some other items that were in place in the city that we just needed to update HRC, that they did not have the proper documentation. So I think we're going to see a substantial increase in our scorecard rating for this year. Certainly still work to be done, but I think some of the action we took this year, as well as getting the information to HRC, you'll see a really significant increase in our numbers. And particular thanks to Pam Benjamin and Jax and the city attorney's office as well for all their work on that.
And Tyson is being extremely modest because he did a lot of work to assist. So I want to thank him for that. We certainly can share what we submitted, but I think Councilwoman Devine is correct. It may be more appropriate to get the score back and see how the changes we made impacted. But I'm more than happy to share with the group if that's something you want me to do, Councilwoman Devine or Councilman Duvall.
Pam, I think that might be a good idea, just to share what we submitted, because just like you had to point out some things to HRC, there are probably some things that are happening, and I want to make sure the committee understands like what currently the city is doing as they're thinking about how we can push the needle forward. You know exactly what we are doing. And then another thing that I think we need to consider is, it's great if you're doing stuff, but if people don't know, that you're doing it, then there's another thing that we have to be thinking about is like, how are we making sure that the LGBTQIA community knows, about liaisons? And I know that's a new addition, but, and I know Officer Lake is trying to get out, but, how do we make sure that those connections are made? Or within, I know our rating, we talk about our ordinances, we need to make sure that those are, people are aware of that. So I think just sending what we submitted, just for information, and then also a jumping off point for the folks in the committee to know what's happening and where they think that there's additional rooms for improvement. And then to Dylan's point, once the rating comes out, we can look at where we are and then what are some of the other things that we need to be working on And I also want this committee to understand that in an advisory capacity to the city of Columbia, there are certain things, I think, as we look at the HRC rating, and then just generally in the state of South Carolina, there are certain things that are not within our purview as the city of Columbia. But as we've talked about before, we have had lots of success in just, reaching out to, whoever it is, their purview, and advocating for it. And so that's part of, being the leader of the capital city. So we want to keep that in mind as well. Tanya, did you have something you wanted to say?
I was just going to say that one of the concerns that we have just with the core group as one of the pastors that we've talked about before that we're passionate about is HIV and AIDS decriminalization, and additionally religious refusal and relationship recognition. So those are one of the areas that are very sensitive for us within my space, and that we're really passionate about as our religious community, that we try to focus and advocate on just our level. I'm not sure exactly, just like you said, what we can do within this advisory committee, but I did want to at least share in this space just the two concerns that I have been thinking about and wanting to do more just in my personal life, to do more in bringing recognition and some resolve in reference to.
I had Councilman Brown, one other point on the HRC scorecard that I think that the members of this committee can have some involvement with is on the scorecard. When you submit, what you can also do is play with things that you plan to do in the next calendar year. And after discussing with members on this committee, I think there's some opportunities for members of the committee to engage with certain constituent groups on behalf of the committee in the city, whether it's high school age students. I know several high schools have asked for representatives to speak, so that could be somewhere the committee speaks. Senior citizens, homeless population. So I think there's going to be a number of opportunities related to the scorecard for folks on this committee to engage with individuals. The other thing that we talked about on the committee was providing meeting space for some of these organizations that are doing work in the community on these subject matters. So if it's one of your organizations, or if you're aligned with one of these organizations, that's something that Pam worked really hard on to allow for us to lend, whether it's a conference room or one of our city facilities to host a meeting. That was something that HRC looks for. So please keep that in mind as your boards and your committees are visiting. And if you are meeting in person, that might be an opportunity to partner with the city just from a physical and logistics standpoint.
Other thoughts of consideration that a work that you think is ahead of us, especially in the short term, in the next few months? Okay, so I have that Ms. Benjamin will make sure that we provide everybody with what we submitted to HRC, so you kind of know what we're doing and what we submitted. And then once we get that rating in October, we'll make sure that's disseminated to the entire committee for your review and possible discussion at the next meeting. And then I've added, and Tanya, make sure I'm putting this right. I say HIV/AIDS, and I think you said the criminalization?
Decriminalization, HIV/AIDS decriminalization.
And I just want to make sure that we're understanding the target you're going, because I think the other thing will be also working with other groups. I know Darius in his professional capacity might know some folks that we need to be working with on this, but can you expound a little bit about like what are the things, tangible things that you'd like to see in the community, so that we know if it's not this committee or the city, who else do we need to be bringing to the table?
I'm not sure exactly specifically right now. I just wanted to kind of put that out there in the space, because I know there's a bunch of people here that have other connections and specialties and areas of focus. I'm not sure that was anyone's here, but you mentioned Darius, so I definitely will be connecting with him offline as well, because him and I have talked about this as well. So I just wanted to put that out there. if anyone's already making any forward progress or has any ideas in reference to that, and I would definitely, be interested in something that could do it. We can do it.
Okay, all right, so I'm putting this on our list as well as follow-ups. Jeff, you don't have anything that you think immediately? I know you're focused on, you've got some big things coming up, but as far as this committee, just some things that you want to put on the table for today?
Well, I do want to offer, the one thing we have coming up on October 22nd, 23rd is the largest audience that we can get in front of. So I like to use that to the best of our advantage. Let's introduce the 3 liaisons again, like we did at the President's Ball. I would like for them to have a little stage time. And anything else, that's what the Pride Stage is for, to get our messages out there. So if we can have a representative up there, that'd be great. Telling them that this committee is formed, that'd be, some kind of acknowledgement. Like you said, it's all good and fine, but if the community doesn't know what's going on, we really don't. They need to know so we can get the community to support us.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. All right. So if is there anything else before we adjourn? I didn't expect today's meeting to be long. I just wanted to have it and make sure everybody got introduced. The other thing that Ms. Hammond will send out is a list of the committee members along with their contacts. I know that Professor Todd Shaw is a member of this committee, and he may have been in, he may be teaching this morning, but he is a member of this committee as well. But we'll make sure that you have the names of the committee members and the contact information, as well as what we submitted to HRC. Is there anything else for the good of the order?
I just wanted to say really briefly, Tanya, I put a message in the chat, but the physician group I mentioned earlier, yeah, so I'd be happy to kind of reach out to them as well on that topic, because I completely agree of the importance of that. So yeah, I will do so.
Awesome, perfect. Ms. Hammond, am I missing anything before we close?
Let's see, I was trying to go through the comments in the chat to see if we missed anything. So if you placed anything in the chat that you would like to share with the group, I think now would be an appropriate time to do so. As the clerk, I'd be interested in knowing how often you all plan to meet, or at least maybe the next date. Or if this day and time kind of works for you, if you say you want to meet again in 2 weeks or a month, we can look at the same date and time.
And so I would definitely leave that up to the committee on how often you think you need to meet. I mean, I think after we get the HRC rating and you got a chance to see everything, there might be a need to have a meeting right after that. And then once we have that meeting, maybe that meeting can be where leadership is determined. And then among yourselves, you determine whether or not you want to have a meeting monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly, whatever that is, as far as, to meet the goals.
Okay, so my cue for scheduling the next meeting would be once the updated report is disseminated and everyone's had a chance to review it, we can look forward to pulling together the next meeting. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
All right. I'm sorry, go ahead, Dylan.
I just put a Facebook event in the chat. Ome's working on the flyer right now, so I don't have that. But I'm assuming this would be another outlet that we can share things that we're doing. So I wanted to let y'all know that we're doing a film screening of Pray Away at the new 1013 Co-op, which was formerly Indie Grits Labs, on Tuesday, October the 19th at 7. And so would love for y'all to participate. It will be outside and CDC guidelines, of course, honored.
Awesome, thank you, Dylan. But yeah, that's exactly correct. Before we close, we usually do that on some of our other meetings. Is there anything else that that any of your groups or that you're aware of that you would like to make known to this group?
Dylan, this is Officer Lake. Can you provide the details of that film screening one more time?
Sure, and I apologize if you're not on Facebook, that the event link in the chat is just for Facebook right now, but it is Tuesday, October the 19th at 7 p.m. It's at 1013 Duke Avenue, which is formerly the Indie Grits Labs, and we'll be showing the screening in the backyard, followed by a panel discussion, and we'll have hot chocolate and popcorn.
Thank you.
Anything else? Darius, do you guys have anything coming up?
Oh, I am off mute. Okay. Yeah, not yet, but in November we will be having our Soul Food Sunday. It will be the Sunday right before Thanksgiving, if I'm not mistaken. It's the 26th, I believe. Don't quote me on that date, but it'll be the Sunday right before Thanksgiving. But I'll definitely get that information out to everyone as soon as we finish securing our location. That is our biggest problem at the moment. One, because it's food. Two, is COVID. And three, locations are kind of scarce for food and COVID. So we definitely want to make sure that we are providing a safe environment for our community. So as soon as we get that information, I'll definitely get that out to everyone.
Awesome. Okay. Well, I think that we are good. So we will make sure that that information gets out to you guys as soon as Erica can get it, along with the minutes to this meeting. And then we will notify you guys as soon as we have the HRC rating, and then we can have a conversation as to when we'll meet next. Howard, do you have anything else before we close?
No, thank everybody for attending, even if it's a virtual meeting. I can't wait till we can get together as a live body. I think it's a lot more productive that way, but we're at least we're off and running now, and got a lot of things to do in the future.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys. You have a great day and a great week, and we will be in touch. And if there's anything that comes up or you have any questions in the interim, please feel free to reach out to myself or Mr. Duvall or Ms. Hammond, who does all of our organizational stuff. Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you guys.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Good night.